I'm Courtney Ingham, and I am a Western tropical astrologer. I offer weekly astrology reports every Monday featuring the planetary and lunar energies for the week ahead. All times mentioned are in Eastern Standard Time. Becoming a subscriber is free, and all subscribers get additional free content. Becoming a paid subscriber is only $5 a month and helps to support this podcast. Paid subscribers receive discounts off of my readings and other offerings. Enjoy the show. Hello and welcome to your weekly forecast for Monday, June the 26th through Sunday, July the 2nd. And I want to start by saying hello to all the new subscribers that signed up over the weekend. I attended a holistic healing fair and did a bunch of readings, had a great time, met some fantastic people with interesting energies, interesting charts with interesting configurations. I had a few grand trines. I had a mystic rectangle. I actually had about 3 people, I believe, with Mercury in retrograde in their natal charts. And this week's report is going to be very interesting for you guys because we have a week that is heavily influenced by the planet Mercury. So stay tuned for that information. I did a drawing for a natal chart reading, a free natal chart reading, and I will be announcing the winner at the end of this podcast. So please stay tuned to hear if you won. This week, the big energies will be involving Mercury, the planet that rules over our logic, our thinking, our communication. We are going to see Mercury make some really big moves as it's moving rather quickly through the sign of Cancer, and it actually enters Cancer today on Monday. We also have Neptune joining Saturn in the sign of Pisces, going retrograde on Friday, and Saturn is retrograde as well. So both of the planets currently in the sign of Pisces are retrograde, which means we are in a massive review phase in that sign, and it would be helpful for you to know where Pisces is in your chart so that you can understand what energies are under review for you. The other areas where we are going to have activations this week are in the signs of Cancer, Taurus, Leo, Aries, and Pisces. So be sure to pinpoint those as I will be speaking to the energies of the planetary aspects happening in those signs. Now let's start with the lunar report. We're starting this week in a second quarter lunar phase with the moon in Libra. Now the moon during this second quarter is going to be growing from a crescent to a beautiful full moon. We tend to follow the cycle of the moon in that way, so big developments can happen, major growth in life, and the evolution of projects can be seen to come into fruition. So open to that energy for sure, and the planetary aspects are going to be supporting that growth as well. As far as lunar gardening goes for the second quarter, we can focus on planting annuals and anything that's going to have a yield above ground. This would include beans, peas, pepper squash, and tomatoes. And we will be moving through the lunar energies of Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, and Capricorn this week. During the phase of Moon in Libra, for gardening, we can focus on plants that enhance root growth, and this is a good sign for planting flowers, vines, seeding hay, corn for fodder, and other livestock needs. When we move into the sign of Scorpio, this is a very feminine, fruitful, and fertile time, so we're wanting to use this to be very productive in planting things, especially during this time. And then when we move into Sagittarius, this is more of a barren, fiery, masculine energy and is good for planting onions and seeding hay. With the moon in Capricorn, we can focus on planting potatoes and other root crops. now let's talk about how we can personally use the lunar energies for this week. We're going to be starting off on Monday and Tuesday with the moon in Libra, where we can find ourselves being very relationship oriented. This is a time when we want a sense of peace. We do not want to have conflict. We can be very conflict averse. We can avoid hard and difficult conversations as well that may be the source of conflict. We want to be very aware of that and not avoid having those conversations, as they can oftentimes bring more balance in our lives. And it's also a time when we can deflect to others. We can be very unselfish in this energy, which is beautiful, but we also want to be aware of not being overtly focused on others and ignoring our own needs during this time. So balance, balance, balance. There's a lot of great energy for partnerships, for being social, for doing things that may require negotiation and working deals with others, as others during this time may also be feeling benevolent in regards to relationships. In the early hours of Wednesday, the moon will be moving into the sign of Scorpio, and this could be having us focus on taking more of a deep dive into our personal psychology, and as well as our feelings and what makes us all tick, because we are going to have the sun in Cancer still. So feelings and emotions and things that are potentially below the surface might be things that we're interested in investigating and looking into the details regarding that, and transforming areas where we're psychologically or emotionally glitchy. Might have some hang-ups come up this week in regards to that. During the Scorpio energy, we just feel things so strongly. There's high energies around, all of the emotions: passion, joy, jealousy, betrayal, love, and desire. Those feelings and experiences can really run deep, and things can come up in those areas so that we can explore those. So we want to be careful for any tendencies to become secretive or suspicious or brooding. And we want to allow ourselves to dive deep, to do that research that we may need to do, both literally and figuratively. It's also a great time for intimacy. So it's a sexy time, it's a sensual time, a time to take advantage of that. We also may want to look at financial partnerships. So anything where we're involved with or associated with other people's money. And this can include our own salaries, our investments, our mortgages, and other shared resources. It might be that in this energy something comes up in regards to those topics, but it's also a great time to review those topics. Friday through Saturday, we will have the moon in Sagittarius. Great time to get away and indulge our wandering spirits. Get in touch with that inner gypsy if you're feeling like taking a trip. Great time to do that. We're going to also be in the energies of wanting to learn something new, reflecting upon also the information and messages that will be coming through this week that could potentially be from your higher self. And reflect upon your blessings and know that you're blessed in this energy, as, of course, Sagittarius is a sign ruled by Jupiter, the great benevolent. Moon in Sagittarius is generally very optimistic, and it's a time to let go of anything that's bothering us or overwhelming us. Maybe the closing off of those energies that could have come up in the Scorpio moon. Just remember to exhale, release, let that go during this time, and enjoy some fun. And get outside, enjoy the great outdoors, be spontaneous, and just really enjoy the beauty of life. On Sunday, the moon moves into the very serious sign of Capricorn. And in the sign of Capricorn, it's a great time to plan, to look at the future, to get serious and look at your goals and reflect on how you've met them or what you need to do to attune to them. You can do something very ambitious in this energy, which we'll be carrying through the beginning of next week. And you can plan something around your business, regarding your career or business, to take more responsibility in regards to that, and to maybe even plan a more ambitious project that you could undertake during the moon in Capricorn energy. Beware of coming off as too cold in this energy or too controlling. It also, you may want to evaluate areas where you've been too flexible or too wishy-washy and not taking control, and use the energies of this time to take control if that's been something that you have not done. Moon in Capricorn is also a time to get organized and be practical. And it's often kind of more of a pessimistic moon. So as you can see, when we move from one sign to the other, the energies are very, very different. So just be aware that this can often come with some lower vibing feelings and energy. That's okay. Use it to be serious. Use it to take care of things that you've maybe put off and haven't taken care of. It's also a great time to tend to family business and act responsibly. It's ruled by Saturn, the planet of responsibility. Just a brief interruption to today's podcast to let you all know that astrology readings make great gifts. If you want to gift a reading to a recent graduate, a new mom who may want to get a sense of their newborn's energies, or a newly married couple looking to learn more about their synergy, please email me at courtneybuk@gmail.com. If you have a small group of friends interested in getting a group together for a semi-private reading, I love doing gatherings and I'm happy to come to you. I also offer Astro cartography readings to help you if you're looking to relocate or take a trip and want to get an idea of what the astrology energies are wherever you're going. Just email me to inquire at courtneybuk@gmail.com. Okay, and with that overview, we're now going to move into the planetary aspects for this week. Mercury, the planet of communication, of logic, of thinking, is making big moves this week. So expect some big changes in your communication, in your downloads and understandings as it makes aspects to various planets, including on Monday when it moves into the sign of Cancer. In Cancer, Mercury speaks to our emotional intelligence. We may find during this time that Mercury spends in the sign of Cancer that our emotional intelligence comes more online, and we're going to be more thoughtful about our emotions and about the home, which Cancer also rules. And I think it's going to be a time where we tune deeply into the intuition, as we could be receiving deep emotional and intuitive insights. On Tuesday, Mercury in Cancer is going to be sextiling the North Node in Taurus. The North Node represents our collective destiny, and Mercury making this positive connection with the North Node could very well bring some important information or guidance regarding our collective destiny. And this speaks to needing more information, and that information coming from Mercury in Cancer could very well be the intuitive information, getting more in touch with that before we can move forward. Again, this echoes the emotional intelligence theme of Mercury in Cancer. On Tuesday, the Sun in Cancer is going to trine Saturn, now retrograde in Pisces. And in this energy, we see what we need to do to take responsibility for our spiritual development. And this could be a redo energy because we have Saturn in retrograde, and any retrograding planet is going to inspire us to reevaluate or to reconsider or even redo what has happened in the past. There could be a revisiting of concepts that we have learned, patterns that revisit us that we may have felt we've overcome. as we revisit these points in Pisces with Saturn going retrograde. And this very much could be a solidification of lessons learned in order to prove that we're moving forward, we're not moving back in that direction again. It's important to remember that Saturn is the planet of rewards, especially for our hard work. And it's the planet that particularly rewards us when we have put the work in. So if you have been putting the work in, whatever area it is that this is happening in your chart where you have Pisces energy, then you will definitely see that coming down the pike for you is that reward. Don't despair if we have energies returning from the past. Just understand that this is a second chance at proving that you have made good choices and a time to reflect that, yeah, we're not going back there again, and an opportunity to be rewarded. On Thursday, we have Venus in the sign of Leo, trining Chiron in the sign of Aries. Chiron being our wound. This could potentially be assistance or support, which would be coming from a relationship signified by Venus in the area of our wound. Perhaps we have support from a friend or from counseling that will help us to lighten the load and have ease around our wound. And if you haven't yet explored your wound as indicated in your astrology chart, consider having a chart reading to understand the energies around that Chiron wounded healer archetype. On Friday, we're going to have Mercury trine Saturn. And in this particular energy, we are going to be registering the lessons that we're in review of. So again, this is a deeper understanding and reflection of the lessons we have learned in the Pisces area of our chart that's coming up again and being echoed here. We also have on Friday Neptune, who is in her home sign of Pisces along with Saturn, going retrograde. So Neptune's joining Saturn in this retrograde. We now have Saturn, Neptune, and Pluto all retrograde. And at this time, the later 5 degree points and or the last decan of Pisces is where we're going to be reflecting on the lessons that Neptune points out to us during this retrograde season that are in review for us. So definitely tune into that area of your chart and see if you have any planets or points that are significant that will be under review. Saturday is our big energy day as we have 3 major aspects happening. The first is Mercury conjunct the Sun. So we have seen Mercury make some big connections with other planets, and now it's going to integrate this information with the Sun for deeper understanding. And in this energy, we're receiving information that we've downloaded and that we are integrating deeply into our system regarding upgrades and also regarding a deepening in our emotional intelligence. So this is an integration of all the connection points that Mercury has made this week, bringing us a lot of information, piecing everything together as we move forward on our path. And so we can work with Jupiter and use this expansively, this information we've gotten, in order to inform our path forward. And then finally, we're going to have the Sun sextile Jupiter. And I laugh because here we have Mercury playing its role so well, being that touch person, the connection point for all of these other planets and points, and then kind of having a meetup again with the Sun or with these planets in order to drive home the main message that it's received in its interactions, which is appropriate and fitting for Mercury, the messenger archetype. And of course, with this moment of culmination, we're able to more deeply understand how we can integrate what we've learned through Mercury's interactions in order to apply this to our path moving forward. Those are the big lunar and planetary energies of this week. And as promised, I am going to announce the winner of a free natal chart reading. And this free natal chart reading will go to Amanda Trinetti. Amanda, if you are hearing this right now, and I do truly hope that you are, please email me, get in touch with me so we can set up your free natal chart reading. You can do that by emailing me at CourtneyBuk@gmail.com. courtneyingam.com. If you happen to know Amanda, please be sure to reach out to her and just let her know there's a free natal chart reading for her. And I'll keep this open through Wednesday. So if I don't hear from you, Amanda, I'll pick another name. Thank you so much for joining me for this weekly overview. I will be back next Monday with the week overview for next week. Have a wonderful week and take care. Thank you so much for joining me for this podcast. And if you have any comments you'd like to leave, I enjoy hearing from you and would love to communicate with you in the comments to hear how the energies are landing for you. And if you happen to have a friend who you think will enjoy this podcast, please do share it with them. I'm back every Monday with your weekly overview on my Substack account at courtneyingam.substack.com.